Attention musicians of all levels. It's not always easy picking out a song by ear. Sometimes you need a little help. Well, I have the app for you. Whether you're a professional musician or a beginner, Ultimate Guitar is an amazing app. For just $2.99, you get the chords and tabs on guitar, bass, or ukulele for over 1 million songs. They're all available at your fingertips. You also get tools like a tuner, metronome, chord library, lessons, videos, and more. You can find out any song you want. It also has like transpose button. It has auto scroll that you can change the speed to so you can play along with the song. A lot of the songs have the lyrics there so you can sing along with them. Ultimate Guitar is an amazing app. Just go to ultimateguitar.com or download the app to your phone today and start playing. Start playing any song you want. Ultimate Guitar, that's the place for you. Let's get down. Hey gang, are you in a band in Austin? You're looking to make the leap from the band of schmoes to the band of pros? Well, you can start by rehearsing at Space. Space is a state-of-the-art affordable venue for rehearsal and recording located just a few short miles south of downtown Austin. 31 spacious rooms, great PAs, and a very helpful and courteous staff. They have adapted to the COVID standards, and it is a very safe place to rehearse. You move in one way, you go in one door, you go out the other, you bring your own microphones. That's Space Rehearsal and Recording. Find them at 512-448-9518 or go to spaceatx.com and take the talent train from Schmoesville to Protown with Space Rehearsal and Recording. Let's get down.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here is your host,
All right. Hello, I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys all had a good holiday weekend, a good 4th of July weekend. I hope you enjoyed 4th of July. Even though, you know, I almost feel like it's weird to celebrate 4th of July because now we know too much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, all right, well, I got a couple days off this weekend. I'll do a thing. Anyway, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys all had a good weekend and enjoyed the extended weekend. I want to thank everyone who tuned in and listened to my fun conversation with my friend Tommy Mack about the A&E documentary Kisstory about Kiss that aired last week. We both watched it. He texted me. He was like, hey, let's talk about this. That's episode 1069, the episode before this. If you want to hear two old Kiss fans talk about Kisstory and sort of their connection to Kiss, it's fun. It's a fun combo. Gang, I have a great big show for you today. Singer-songwriter, rocker Christine Renner is on the show today. She has a brand new EP called Heartbreaker. It drops on July 17th. It was produced by my dear friend Frenchie Smith, and one of my very best friends in the whole world, Einar Peterson, played almost all the instruments on the EP and arranged all the songs. Heartbreaker is absolutely fantastic. It's Christine's best work. This is her second time on the show. She was on a couple years ago. And anyway, she is celebrating with a release show on Saturday, July 17th at Empire Control Room with Aubrey Hayes and Caselin. That's also her 22nd birthday. So she'll be celebrating her 22nd birthday at her release show at Empire Control for her EP Heartbreaker, all on July 17th. Find her at ChristineRennermusic.com. That's where you'll find her. But before I talk to Christine Renner, I talked to my dear friend Rain Perry, who lives in Ojai, California. She makes a lot of records with my mentor, Mark Hallman. And she made a documentary about Mark Hallman called The Shopkeeper, which you can find on Amazon Prime or wherever it is that you find rentable streaming movies. It's called The Shopkeeper, absolutely gorgeous movie. But she has dropped a tender musical memoir of life with her father after the early death of her mother. And it's called Cinderblock Bookshelves, a guide for children of fame-obsessed bohemian nomads. And she actually performed this on, it actually debuted on the radio on KWMR in Marin County. And now it's available as a podcast wherever it is you stream and download podcasts. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know if it's on Spotify, but it's definitely on Apple Podcasts, definitely on Stitcher, definitely on TuneIn, on Audible, wherever it is that you find it. You can also go to cinderblockbookshelves.com to get involved with it. This is an amazing story. Like, this is her story, and it has some rough edges. It has some intense parts. It's very funny. She's very, very honest about about her first sexual experiences and her first drug experiences and basically that sort of like 70s hippie parent life that some of us grew up with. It's a great story. I suggest you get out there and listen to it. It's actually just called Cinderblock Bookshelves, and Cinderblock is one word. You can find it wherever it is that you do the streaming of the podcast. Cinderblockbookshelves.com or go to rainperry.com. So before we talk to Christine Renner, let's talk to Rain Perry about her tender musical memoir, Cinderblock Bookshelves, a guide for children of fame-obsessed bohemian nomads. Let's get down.
Bent or broken is the family tree. Bent or broken is the family tree. Each branch a part of a part of me. This is my tree, and it's a beautiful tree.
How are you doing up there in Ohio?
Good. We had our 4th of July parade on the 3rd because of, I guess, People's Church or whatever. So today I'm just chilling.
Hold on. Are you saying that because God got in the way of America's birthday?
It's a lot.
That's a tough one to swallow, Rain.
I know. But hey, so today I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, so happy 4th of July.
You too.
So this Cinderblock Bookshelves, a guide for children of fame-obsessed bohemian nomads, already aired on the radio on KWMR, right?
Correct. Yeah,
right.
On June 27th. Yes.
Okay. All 3 parts?
Yeah.
Wow. Rain,
Yeah,
this is an incredible feat. You did an amazing job. It's amazingly well done. And the story is amazing and compelling. You are very honest, brutally honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how this came together.
Yeah. Well, like with most big projects, you're writing something, you don't really know what you're writing. And then I was raised by my dad. My mom died when I was very young. And when he was sick, I just, started writing about him and our relationship. And I was thinking it was going to be a record. I'd already done one record.
Right.
But I had, all these songs about my dad, and that seemed like a pretty weird record. And I was working with this writing coach, and she was just encouraging me, just don't worry about making this stuff into songs, just write. And that work ultimately became a whole bunch of prose, which I worked with my director, Kim Maxwell, who is one of the co-founders of the Ohio Playwrights Conference, and songs. And that is the first record I did with Mark Hallman at the Congress House. I was talking to Kim and trying to figure out what I was going to do with these songs, how I was going to record them. And she was had been listening to Eliza Gilkison, and she said, you should call that guy. And I felt intimidated by that, but I made a little list of affirmations and called him. And of course, he's Mark, so it was fine. And we totally hit it off. We both had had Cinderblock Bookshelves in our lives. Yeah. And so I brought the record to him, and it became a play and a record.
Yeah. I was moved because there's a lot of similarities in our stories from that time, but I also have a lot of other friends that have that similarity in their story, almost the Cinderblock Bookshelves. They went to all these different schools. They, you know what I mean? Like all this different stuff. Moved around a lot, kind of like, parents were high, a good amount of the time.
Well, the parents were finding themselves, and the kids were kind of along for the ride. Right.
But it's interesting.
And it's not all bad.
No.
It's definitely.
No, and you and I and the other people that share our similar upbringing would not be the people we are today.
Right.
Were it
Absolutely.
not for, would you have it over to do again? If there were some things you could change, yes. But if you couldn't change anything, probably yeah.
No, absolutely. That said, I don't really. I'm glad I don't want to go back and be 12, but yeah, I'm glad for it. I feel like it made me adaptable and made me a writer.
Yeah.
So,
so you have released this. I'll talk about it in the intro and outro of this. You can find this at cinderblockbookshelves.com. It's now on most all streaming services in a 3-part podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a play. It was like a 90-minute play. Now it's a 90-minute 3-part podcast.
How hard was it to get it? Like, how long was it? How long was the first draft?
Oh, of this work?
Yeah.
It was like 450 pages. It was a lot of editing, a lot of trying to find the story. And even, as it was becoming a play, I still didn't know what the story was or where it was going to end up at the end. It was a lot. But that said, my first assembly cut of the Shopkeeper was also like 4 hours long. So,
right.
Editing is excruciating.
I bet, man. So you got it down to less than a quarter of what it was.
Yeah, and it's hard to let go of some stuff, but you just have to. I have a video I got somewhere of outtakes from Spinal Tap, the movie, and it's really instructive because there is stuff in there that's so funny, but the movie is so much better without it. Right. Like. It was a good lesson for me. I'm like, man, it must have been hard for him to cut some of this stuff, but it's better.
Right. Did you read the Kathy Valentine book?
No, I haven't read it yet. It's on my list, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in that story too.
Oh, I will move it up the list.
Yeah. Kind of like whatever kind of sibling relationship you have with your parent, as opposed to
right. Yeah.
So, are you glad that was this going to be a one-woman play, or was it going to have?
It was. I performed it. Yes, it was a one woman and a guitar player. I performed it with Danny B. Harvey, the rockabilly guitar player who lives in Austin. Yeah. He and I did this together. We performed it for a couple years together around the West and Texas, it was me and him on a guitar. It was great.
How was that? I mean, it must get like a little weird. Like, are you glad that you put it down like this so you're not performing it all the time? Because going through that every day, like I understand going through it is healthy and working through your thing, and you see in the story, it seems like when your dad gets sick, there's a certain amount of anger then and resentment that comes out, and then you actually take everyone through the process of forgiveness and acceptance. It's pretty fucking heavy, Rain. Jesus. Even without 310 pages of it, it's still, you get whatever it is that you were trying to get across comes across very clearly.
Thank you.
And that is it's a very heavy thing to go through with somebody in the morning on headphones.
I bet, yeah. Well, I trick you with all the funny 1970s drug jokes. It starts funny, and then, but yes, it was intense to perform for sure. But what was really cool about it was, well, two things. One is it was reliable. Like the audience would go through this process and get to a point at a certain point in the story where they would cry like every single time. Yeah. And I could count on it. And it was really, it was each audience, obviously, as any performer knows, is different, but this was something kind of dependable. The other thing that was not dependable, though, is you could kind of tell how straight an audience was by whether they laughed at the 11-year-old smoking weed joke. Yeah. Or if they gasped. They were like, oh my God, The other people are like, oh God, yeah, totally. But yeah, but the other thing about being able to do this as a podcast or as a audio drama, whatever, it was being able to use the recorded songs that Mark produced, because in the play we did this really stripped down acoustic versions, and that was really wonderful and intimate. But this was another thing; it let me develop it into a different thing, and I'm happy to have a legacy of Mark's production, and those songs we did together. I
have to say that even though that was from most of the stuff is from the first record, right?
It is the first one I did with him. Yeah, I did one kind of proto record before that, but
there's nothing. That's cool when you play the demo of like whenever you guys had like the big inheritance scene and you were doing stuff and you were recording your own songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was when I was like 16 or 14 or something. I don't know. So yeah, my dad took me to go do.
You're pretty fucking
demos.
Good then.
Well,
I mean, for somebody who's 14, I mean, obviously you're not going to be like, writing the level of songs you're writing now, but my God.
Well, I was, you were into it. If you're one of those kids who does it, you just do it. You're into it.
Do you know what's funny that happened to me, Rain? I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but I didn't start writing until I was like 17. Like I wrote one song and Hallman helped me record it on like a 4-track cassette when I was like 14 or something.
Of course he did.
But I was around so many great songwriters. And they were saying this. I mean, imagine being around Eliza Gilkyson and then someone's like asking 15-year-old you, like, hey, what's your song like? You're like, you know what, dude? I'm trying to hang on. Like, I'm just trying to be able to stand up and play and sing all at the same time right now. That's
a whole different thing. Yeah, I did not have that around me. I mean, it's not that there weren't people that were good, but my God.
No, but I mean, and, those guys weren't like outlaws by any means or anything when I was a kid, but they were like, they were that kind of group, whatever was happening at your mom and dad's house when you were a kid, same thing that was happening, they were my mom's friends, that's how I know them. Right. Yeah.
That's right.
So those were the culprits in my story.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's good culprits.
So, there was one thing I found incredibly moving. Oh, one other thing I was going to say is that there's definitely like the songs really grab you in the context of the story. Like when the song comes up, you're like, "Whoa, shit!" Like she really like the whole thing is like when you're listening to the song like in a playlist or something. One of the songs, you're like you're like, "Oh yeah, that person really captured that feeling pretty well." But when you listen to it in the context of this, you're like, oh, shit. This is like real. Yeah. One of the things I found that was incredible of the whole thing was once you moved out and you would be calling your dad and talking to the different girlfriends on the phone, even though it wasn't them. And it was just, that was really moving. Is that your idea?
I'm glad it worked. That was an idea between my director Kim and me. Okay. That we honed that one together.
So what has anybody reached out on that radio? From the radio performance, has anyone been like, oh shit, man, I don't know you, but like,
Oh, I have had a couple of people I knew back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the radio station is in the town that the story's about, you know, so it's in West Marin and Point Reyes. And, you know, the stories I tell about the Free Box and, you know, the theater company I was in as a kid, that's all there. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, actually one thing was, a couple of years ago, we did a 10-year reunion performance of it. Danny came out from Austin and we performed it here in Ojai. And the 12-year-old kid who's like trying to hook up with me when I had to move in with him and his mom. Yeah. So he's 45 or something now. And and he came, actually he's probably more like 50. Oh my God. But anyway, he came and he was sitting like in the front row. So I got to perform that part directly to him. And that was pretty humorous.
That might have been cathartic / awkward.
Oh, he and I have joked about it for years.
Good.
Yeah.
So, what's next? Like what Like Rain, you were just here making an album. We had dinner.
Yes, we certainly did. It was great.
When is that coming out?
We're still working on it.
Okay.
I was thinking this fall, but now with it getting in towards Christmas and all this stuff, probably next spring. The record that I'm working on is kind of a sequel to Cinder Block Bookshelves in a way. It's Cinder Block Bookshelves is my story of growing up a hippie kid raised by my dad. And my new record is called A White Album. And it is looking back at my life and my family through the lens of being white. And
Wow.
yeah. And so it's going to be a performance of some kind to be determined. And I'm still figuring out a bunch of that stuff before I figure out how and when I'm releasing the record. But I just found myself writing a bunch of songs, like just kind of taking a fresh look at stories I heard. And like many of us, I'm doing a lot of thinking about this, and to use a really overused phrase, work on it.
Yeah.
And just, sitting with it. What does it mean to be white, and how has it affected my life, and what do I know now that I didn't know when I was younger? And yeah, so that's what I'm working on now, and I'm excited about it because there's a lot of Austin luminaries on the record.
Who all's on it?
Okay, I'll tell you. Well, let's see. Betty Sue is on there. Akina Adderley just did a vocal. Let's see. And then not from Austin, Ben Lee is on the record.
Oh, wow.
Michael Jorgensen, the keyboard player from Wilco, is on the record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then Hallman plays everything, and Andre also.
When you said Michael Jorgensen at first, I just thought Al Jorgensen from Ministry, and I was like, oh.
No,
Okay.
no. Not yet, anyway. So that's what we're working on. It's a lot to be determined still about what it's going to end up being, but the record is getting pretty close to done, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Cinder Block Bookshelves, a guide for children of fame-obsessed bohemian nomads. It's known in short as Cinder Block Bookshelves. You can go to cinderblockbookshelves.com to find out what. Rain, are you doing shows, man? What are you?
I don't perform that often.
Okay.
So I kind of do like a show or a series of shows around a release or something, but
Okay.
I'm not a touring artist. I guess no one has been a touring artist for the last year, but yeah. People
No,
are getting back to it.
I played a show. Hallman
How was
there.
it?
Oh, and Andre played. They opened for us.
Oh, I saw a picture.
It was good,
A
yeah.
picture.
It was great.
Oh.
It was a
Did
show.
it feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
show.
that?
Wow.
People were
That's-
there. And
Oh, yeah.
Bands
Can't wait.
playing.
Can't
and,
wait.
yeah, it was loud. My ears rang when I got home.
Like an audience.
An audience of
Oh, yeah.
happiness. People can also
I can't
go back
wait.
and find Cinder Block Bookshelves, the 2008 album, probably up wherever you stream and download your jams. But rainperry.com is your website. And to find Cinder Block Bookshelves, and Cinder Block is one word in the thing.
Correct.
Because it's normally
Cinder
two
Block
words. Is that
Bookshelves.
right?
I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but in the website, cinderblockbookshelves.com. And you can find the record and the podcast everywhere.
Yeah. This is a tender musical memoir of life with her father, with Rain's father, after the early death of her mother. It's incredibly entertaining. And those first couple of episodes are tender and funny and fun to listen to. And the last one's fun, but there's, things get heavy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But there's redemption. I'm not to give anything away, but
Yeah.
there is redemption.
There's redemption. Yeah. Yeah. And you go through whatever it is that happens to somebody when they're in that position that you were in. You're very open about it. And I know that takes a lot of courage.
Well, it's our goal, I guess,
Yeah.
to get to go there.
What do your kids think of it?
That's interesting. I was so adamant about not making my kids watch it. Finally, my older daughter was like, "Mom, quit being so weird. I'm going to see it."
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then my younger daughter still hasn't.
Okay.
But, there's I should just give them like the time codes for the really most embarrassing parts and let them skip over, like when I lost my virginity and stuff like that. But, but other than that, I think, they're proud and slightly embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. I'm not slightly embarrassed.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for doing the show again. And thank you for your work.
Thank
Everyone
you for
can get
having
out
me.
there and find you at cinderblockbookshelves.com. And you can find Cinderblock Bookshelves wherever it is that you stream and download your pods.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
No problem. Thank you. Good talking to you.
You too. Have a good rest of your 4th of July.
Yeah.
Woo! Family tree. Poor, poor giant. It's a family tree.
That's Rain Perry. You can find her at rainperry.com. You can check out her music, amazing records. You can find Cinderblock Bookshelves at cinderblockbookshelves.com or wherever it is that you stream and download your podcasts. Okay? Amazing conversation. What a great adventure. The one-person show. I wish I could see it on the stage. She's amazing. I love Rain Perry. Go to rainperry.com for all of your Rain Perry needs, and go to Cinderblock Bookshelves to listen to this amazing 3-part, touching, tender, and beautiful story. All right, let's talk to musician Christine Renner. She's back on the show today. She's got a brand new EP dropping July 17th, produced by my dear friend Frenchie Smith. And my friend Einar Peterson, one of my best friends in the world, played almost everything on the record. You can find her at ChristineRennerMusic.com. She is celebrating with a release show for Heartbreaker on Saturday, July 17th at Empire Control Room and Garage, with special guest Aubrey Hayes and Caselin. All right? Get out there and find Christine Renner. That's also her 22nd birthday. We have a fantastic conversation. I always laugh a lot with Christine. Always love talking to her. So without further ado, here's me and Christine Renner, chatting, laughing, and getting into it. Let's get down.
Tell me, sugar, what you don't understand. When life gives you lemons, I do what I can. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, I'm addicted to it. I can't say you made a fool out of me. I'm fooling myself if that's the lie.
I like the 2 knobs too.
Yeah, that's all you need, man. Tone and volume.
Yep. I get annoyed my Les Paul having 4 sometimes.
What year is your Les Paul? Is it a newer one?
It's newer. It's like 2017 or 18. I was 18 when I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was that year. Yeah.
So last time you were on here, you were 19. Is that right?
I think so.
And so you turned 21 in quarantine.
Yeah.
Boy, what a blast. How was that party? Were you just wasted at your house?
We won't talk about.
Okay.
It was fun, but I didn't get to go out or anything, and like experience like the 21 social life until like last week.
How's that treating you?
It's fun.
What have you been doing?
Just like going out to shows, going dancing, like staying out later than I usually would. So, because I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun. Yeah. I realized I love to dance. I didn't know I loved to dance.
Where do you go dance?
Continental Gallery.
Oh, no shit. Who are you dancing to?
Boys.
Oh, look at you. You have such an old soul. Remember last time you were on here, we just talked about Billy Squire. I've told people before, I'm like, Christine Renner, she loves Billy Squire.
Hell yeah.
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 So who do you go see at Sea Boys and Continental Club?
Well, Continental Club, it depends. Like, I don't know any specific bands, but Continental Gallery, there's a Friday and Saturday nights, there's a Matt Hubbard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I go
Love
dance.
Matt Hubbard.
That's great. And then there's this other, when I went to Sea Boys, it's 3 last names, and they're weird last names. I don't know what they are, but it's a trio, and they're freaking incredible.
Was
they play
it
Wednesday
Sniz
night.
and Trube.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
yeah.
they're so good.
Okay, because I was at Continental Club on Wednesday. I saw John D. Graham and my friend Scrappy Judd Newcomb.
Okay.
But I was out late. Like,
Yeah.
I was there until they closed.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I left it because it was a Wednesday night. I did leave early.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be doing this.
What do you work and stuff?
Yeah, I teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
What do you teach?
Music,
No shit.
guitar,
Look
and
at that.
piano. I got hired right out of high school. So, like, turned 18 and she hired me. So I've been there for I was 17. I don't even know.
So you were teaching all through the pandemic on. So you were able to keep your life
to
going.
virtual,
Yeah.
for a while, and now we're back to in person and kind of half and half. But yeah, I'm from like 2 to 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just like knock out like 35 students. Teach.
That's amazing. Are you you live by yourself?
No, I'm still with my parents.
Okay.
Because I'm 21. If I wanted to move out, I could add another day of teaching, but I'm like, it's kind of nice being fed.
I bet. Yeah.
Having to pay rent, I'm like, I'm going to...
Well, also, it would have been terrible. Like, I spent a lot of the time just in this apartment.
Just alone, I
during
know.
quarantine. It was pretty freaky, man.
I bet, yeah. It was really good, actually. I bonded with my family a lot. Like, my sister's 10, so it's like 11
Oh, that's
now.
cool.
So we got to bond a lot and, like, be together, so that was
Do you
good.
teach her music stuff? Do you show her music?
I did. I
What?
was doing piano and guitar, but she kind of lost interest because she's like, I don't know, she's a little bit weird. It's like, that's what Sissy does, you know? And like,
Oh, right. She wants to have her
do
own thing.
She's
Yeah.
like, likes acting. She likes dancing. I think she has a really big talent though to like write songs. I already like have heard her writing stuff. So I'm going to continue encouraging her to create on the piano, but I'm not going to push it. I don't want to try to be like pushing her into something she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Christine, your EP is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Heartbreaker.
Yeah. I'm stoked about it.
You are. You're dropping it on your... Is it the day? Does it come out the day before your birthday or on your birthday?
The day of my birthday.
And you're doing a release show that night at Empire?
Yes. July 17th. I will be 22. Woo.
Well, now you're working on your birthday. Last one you were locked in, and now you're going to
Yeah.
be like stressed out before the show and like...
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It'll be good. I'm going to be prepared. I do have like, I get gig anxiety. I used to not because I was so constantly doing so many gigs, but as soon as like
Yeah,
took a
man.
9-month break and then I'm back into it, I'm like freaking out all day, like thinking I don't know my songs.
Right.
No, I do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just played the other night in Houston like a week and a half ago. And it was weird, man. I knew my songs,
Yeah.
but I didn't think
I'm
I
like,
did.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm like this. I haven't sang them outside of the same like 4 walls in a while. So do I really know them?
You're pretty active on like Instagram and stuff. But did you do like official live streams and shit during the thing?
Yeah, I did a lot of live streams. So that was, but I didn't do any like official ones where I like sold tickets to. I feel like, I don't know.
Did you put a Venmo up?
Yeah, I'd put a Venmo up. I'm pretty bad
you
at that sometimes though. Like,
Did you start in the good time? Because there was a pretty sweet time.
yeah.
It was a pretty, this time last year was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't start right away. I actually kind of like, I was being active on social media,
Yeah.
but I just kind of started writing. I already have like the next like 2 projects planned because I just started writing music and my head was in the clouds of like the next project that's not even existing yet. So now that I can actually release Heartbreaker, I'm like, okay, like I've got to get back in the headspace of this girl.
Right.
Because I've changed a lot too. I'm trying not to be a heartbreaker.
Is that real? You're a heartbreaker?
Yeah, it just kind of like happened when I was like 18, 19, 20.
What?
Realm.
Okay, explain it to me. How are you?
Like people would fall for me quicker than I'd fall for them. And like be like, you're the one. and I'm marrying you. And I'm like, hold up. Like, I'm not there yet, like, at all. So
wow, you're just a...
I'm just a, yeah.
Yeah, you're just a young person.
Yeah, still trying to figure it out.
So there's young dudes, are they your age?
No, some of them were usually a little older, so...
Oh, so they were like, oh, this is it. I can't let her get away.
Yeah, like 20, 29 or, yeah. Not gonna...
It's a pretty badass predicament to be in. I mean, you know.
I got a lot of, like, different music out of me that I don't think I would have ever written if I didn't experience what I experienced. So, and just... being young and naive and not realizing people are toxic when they are, because I'm young and thinking like, oh, like this is how it is in the dating world. And I'm like, wait, no.
No,
like...
I'm starting to realize like, I think all people are like, there's a certain level of toxicity.
Yeah, I think I'm toxic too to half the people
me
that
too.
Even or not noticing when I'm being toxic and I don't know it. I'm just like, I just like hanging out with you and I like the attention, but not realizing that they're like falling for me like on a deeper level. And I'm like, whoa, I'm just having fun. So yeah.
I just got dumped last week.
What?
Yeah,
So sorry about that. It's not fun.
No, it's not fun. But you do like a lot of forensic sort of examination of yourself.
Yeah.
And they like, I wonder why that person said like, no more Johnny. Like,
yeah.
You're the weakest link. You're out of here.
Yeah.
You're fired.
I get that.
I'm just using reality show catchphrases. So you process this stuff through song. So you acknowledge the fact that there's people out there. You're doing something, and these people are falling head over heels.
Yeah.
And you're not ready for that.
Yeah. I'm like, I kind of state it, you know, in my songs. There's one of them in the Heartbreaker is called Young Girl. And it's me saying, young girls will break your heart. Because young girls don't know who they are. And that's what I realized. Like, I was in a relationship for 1.5 years at one point, and I did break that person's heart because I grew and I changed.
Right.
And I realized, I was like, I don't really know if this is what I want to be in forever. I don't know. I'm like, I don't even know myself. I got to step back and just like, but then loneliness is like, it's
such a sad affair.
Yeah. So very quickly, there's always somebody else ready in line that's like ready to like.
So you're like a player.
No.
That's what you should have called this EP. You should call it Player.
I'm not.
The Player.
I'm really not. I actually really just want to be friends with people, and like, and like my loneliness gets in the way too. There's a line in that same song. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Do you miss me? Can't forget the memories. And I'm a fool for loving. That's
right.
I'm a fool for loving. And like, it's like, then the first song on the record is In Love with Love. That's where this all comes from. I love to be in love. I love to experience the connection with a human. And it's like, but I have to set boundaries quickly with myself and realize like, okay, if somebody is, I don't know, it's so
right. No, I know. Yeah.
It's so like, I need time to figure out, I'm like, is this person my friend or just is someone I actually want to see?
Right.
And sometimes they don't really know that that's kind of the process I'm going through, and maybe I need to communicate better.
Those are things you learn.
Yeah. Learned a lot. That's why I kind of like, my whole headspace now, I think I got bad karma after making
I think that sometimes too.
After making that record and making this like arrogant heartbreak, I'm a heartbreaker like stance. That's pretty arrogant of me to say.
Yeah.
But I'm so honest about myself. I'm just like, I can't not. Music is just where my honesty comes out. But now I'm in a new place and writing new music, and I got my heart broken like in half during quarantine.
During quarantine?
Yeah. That was not fun. I thought he was like the one.
So wait a minute. So you thought someone was the one?
I got my heart demolished. I thought this is the new one. This is after I made this record. So that's why I'm saying this is bad karma.
Oh, so you got.
And the next record's called Dreamer, which is like.
You already know what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already have a tattoo on my body.
Yeah, I noticed you're pretty tatted up at this point.
Yeah,
What's going on over here?
I got this one. I got them all over. I don't know. They're fun. I think it's
Your parents go like.
No, my mom hates it. She's like.
You come home and she's like, no.
I got this one and the Heaven on Earth one in the same week. New Year's, like New Year's
2020
of 2021. So like
Oh.
these are new. Yeah. But I mean, let's see. I got broken up with mid-December, so getting 2 tattoos in the new year sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, so Heartbreaker, you wrote this then before quarantine. You recorded it before quarantine? Or you
like right before, yeah. So like I was supposed to go to South by Southwest and play 10 shows. And then that got canceled. So Frenchie was like, I'm bored. And I was like, me too. So me, Frenchie, Einar got together and made it in the span of kind of like 2 weeks.
Now, Einar is really like the MVP outside of being the artist. Like he's kind of like the...
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Like he played fucking... His drumming is so... Every time I just texted him this morning. I was like, man, this is great. You're an amazing band.
Yeah. I know. Like they're my studio band. Like pretty much it's him. It's like him and then like me doing my rhythm stuff. And of course it's my singing. But like he's the rhythm section and a lot of the synth stuff is Einar. He's like also really helps me. We did a blueprint day before we went into the studio.
So like a pre-production day?
Yeah. And we just like, it was 6 songs, but then I took one off. So now it's 5 songs. But we've demoed 6 songs in one day, just like straight, and got them all demoed. And those times, that's really fun because I know the Frenchie and Einar both know the like era that I love of music very deeply. It's like a deep love of theirs. So I know that when we take and we start to arrange the songs, it's like we open up something really cool with the songs. And they have things that I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what to do in this bridge, or this is what me and my band were doing when we played it live. But Frenchie would like, we'd step away from it and go like, and just kind of see it from different angles. And it's just like, he gives me his all in recording. Both of them. They give me their all.
I hang, like, Einar is one of my very best friends in the world. We played together for years.
Y'all were in a band together back in the day, right?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I was realizing that our record came out like the week before you were born. It came out July 11th, 2000.
That's so fun.
Your birthday.
July 17th.
Yeah. So the next week when we were on the road, you were born.
That's so fun.
Now he's playing drums and bass and guitar and keyboards, and the publicist writes some good stuff about him. He's like a legendary music icon.
Yeah.
There was another thing that they called a musicologist.
A musicologist, isn't that great?
That's a good one.
I think actually my dad came up with that word.
But yeah, so those guys, I hang out there, and I've been going there during the quarantine, and they give their all every single day on every single thing they do.
Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It's crazy awesome.
There's no end. They kind of push themselves to like, I wonder, because like now I'm like, guys, we're like getting up in years. You're going to give yourself a heart attack trying to keep up with like a 21-year-old heartbreaker in the studio.
Oh my gosh. And they don't eat.
They don't eat? Well, I know.
And even Einar, in the last session I was recently in with them, like Einar was like looking at Frenchie like, you need to eat. And Frenchie's like, I'm on a roll right now. Shut up, I'm not eating. It's like,
I always take chocolate there when I go there.
Oh, that's good.
Just so they'll have something.
But my recent times I was in there is I have a student who's 16. She's writing better songs than me. I don't know. She's putting her 16-year-old emotions into her music, and she's like, it's like amazing. Her hooks, I'm just like, ah. So I'm mentoring her, and I'm like, I wish when I was 16, I wish I had me. So I want to be that for her.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So she
That's incredible that you're able to recognize that now, because I didn't recognize. I was brought up by people, by mentors, people that took an interest in me when I was a kid. Like there was no reason to, and they did. They just totally guided me and helped me out through all that stuff. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, like, oh shit, I should be doing this with other people too.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, so I realized, I was like, how can I? So I recorded a song with her, with my friend. We did a first, like, okay, this is like just out of his house. It was great. It's released, that single is releasing soon. And then we did her second single. We did Go to the Bubble and did it with Frenchie and Einar. And that was so fun. So we did a little blueprint day, and then we went in and recorded her song.
That's
and it was
really
cool to be on the outskirts of, like, this isn't my song. So I'm seeing this from another, like, angle, and it's hers, and we're like it was just so cool. It's cool to see them work with her, and because we already have this strong, like, musical building, me, Frenchie, and Einar, like, it was so much fun to, like, we brought out the Mellotron. That's always so fun.
Dude, I love that thing. I've played that thing on some stuff in there.
It was great.
The best part is just looking for the sounds.
Yeah. And then the fact that it has that high and low switch, that's my favorite. It was so cool. But yeah, it was like a different feel, it not being my song. And I'm like, it's like, it was somebody else's.
Do you
music.
see yourself as going into that sort of realm, and like a production, like being a producer and taking people into the studio that you recognize something in, or that people could hire you, Christine Renner?
Yeah, I just don't really know. I already have it kind of, I want to call it like dreamer music mentorship or something, like dreamer music. Like that, I want to start something where I am mentoring them, like these younger artists, like I am with this girl Savannah, to guide them through the steps of releasing a song. If they already have a songwriting talent and it's there, that's what it is. That's what it is. And if they know how to perform, and they like are continually writing songs. I have a couple students that are doing this, and I'm just like, yes, this is what I was doing. This I see the signs, because I was like that when I was that age. But I'm like, okay, let's get you started now, because
it's real hard.
When you're my age, you're gonna be 5 years ahead of everybody else, and that's great. Like I already feel like me being 21 and having released as much stuff as I have is like a huge blessing, because not a lot of people start until they're like in their mid-20s, or like someone I dated that was about to be 30 and still hadn't started putting out music. And I'm like, you have a dream, start. Just
you dated a musician?
Yeah. What?
How's that? I never have. I mean,
really?
I'm 52, and I've dated artists,
right?
Photographers,
right?
Video directors,
but not a musician.
I kind of refuse to. I do.
I actually realize with myself, it's the only type of person that I do want to. But
I've had people tell me that they would be the only people that would really understand me, and maybe that's my flaw.
Yeah, they maybe need experience.
Maybe I need
that.
to,
Yeah, but also, that's still my thing.
It's just too much.
But I did that, and it was not. The problem with musicians is, I think there's something that gets the lines blurred, is that there's a musical connection that can be very mistaken for love. I've done it so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't play with someone that I was with. Like, that is crazy.
You want to
that
know
to me
where
is
he
insane.
was my guitar?
Oh, Jesus. Did you fire him?
Yeah, eventually I did. Of course. I probably would have fired him even if we didn't break up. But we did break up, so I was like, well, no, I'm not going to play in my band with you. So I had to get better at guitar, and I took over.
So what's your what is your band now? So you had this as a fully produced EP. Like, I mean, there's music out already, right? There's a video, some videos, two videos.
There's 3 songs out.
3 songs out.
Yeah. And there's 2 videos already out. There's a video coming out. I just got the video back last night, and it looks so badass.
Who did this new video?
My friend Alex Chad.
Oh, my friend too.
You know him? Okay, cool.
He was just here the other day.
He directed and edited it.
Yes, yeah.
And we got it done with film. With
actual film?
Yeah.
I love him, man. Yeah. He's going to play keyboards with me at my show.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he's a really, really cool guy.
I-
really took my vision and just like made it reality. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
I like him as a person a lot.
Yeah, me too. He's
Yeah.
really cool.
Who did
Really
the other
down there.
videos? The ones that people get. Well, by the time this comes out, people will be able to see all the videos.
Yeah, the other one's already released. This girl named Diana, and
Which song is that for?
In Love with Love
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Drown
okay.
were both directed by her.
By the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are great videos.
Yeah, she did a great job, and it's just really cool too working with a woman that's like my age, and she really like knew how to kind of project what I was envisioning. So yeah. But this other one, Alex totally got my vibe. He knew I was like, okay, I want like garbage vibes, backstage at a Joan Jett concert, 1980s vibes.
Yeah.
And so he was like, film. And I was like, yes.
You know,
and I
and-
was like, my wallet's like, no.
I talked to Alex about this too, and my music is a style of music that harkens back to a time of something, right? And so I have like this sort of like 70s, early 80s kind of trip to what I do. Now, Alex has this definite musically, like Yate has a very specific era of music that they are kind of
He's like nailing it.
in that world, right?
Yeah.
And you know Primo,
I know.
but
I
you know her
what you're
stuff.
talking about, but I don't know the stuff. No,
Okay,
I haven't heard it. I
Her
would
stuff
say.
is very specifically of an era as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because at first I was like, because the era that they're going for and the sort of like things that they're drawing from are things that I definitely shied away from at the time. They're not doing like Joan Jett, Billy Squier kind of shit. They're a little bit more in the sort of very pop, like Phil Collins or something like that kind of vibe, right? And so it was weird for me, but then I started to understand. So you have this similar kind of vibe, but to me, your stuff is like early 80s, late 70s kind of post-punk, new wave, rock and roll.
Yeah. That's I always like, if it were to have released in a different year, it'd be 1981.
Yeah.
Like that early 80s.
So what is it? Like what is it about that's your oh shit, this microphone's been sideways the whole time.
Mine's been off the whole time.
Yeah, welcome. Oh shit, I didn't push record the whole time. No, I'm joking.
Oh my god.
What is it about that? Like why aren't you doing the music of somebody your age doing what's happening now? Like with tracks and dancing or whatever. Well, that's happening.
I know.
And the colored box thing that where you push all the things.
Right, like,
yeah, like this.
Yeah, that, you got it right there. I see you're cooler than me, apparently. I grew up on that music. I grew up going to, my dad and I were concert buddies, and he'd take me to see Journey, Van Halen, Robert Plant, The Who, Joan Jett. I saw her open for The Who, and just the list goes on. And so I was and I saw him performing with his band. So I was just used to like music it's represented live with live humans
playing instruments,
playing them,
yeah,
with that energy. And so definitely.
But do you like Billie Eilish?
Yeah. I think she's awesome. I think what I like most about her is her songwriting. I think that's what it all goes back to.
It all goes back to songs.
It's like the song she could have expressed each of her songs the same exact way I have.
Yeah.
In like a more rock sense if she wanted to. But she went this other like kind of more electro like direction, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like it just kind of the embracing also my guitar, like really embracing it in this project. Because I do think my next stuff that I'm working on right now, I'm working a lot. Still, though, it's nothing too, like, I don't like to get on my laptop. I don't like to get on GarageBand. Sounds bad, but I like to, like, be in my room with the amp on and, like, everything loud and the vocals there and my synth there if I need to play around with that. And like that's kind of how I create and how I write. And so I just like express that in my songs still that way too.
How are you feeling about this, like, coming out thing? Oh, this is what I was going to ask you. Sorry. You have these dudes playing on your stuff. Assume Frenchie did something. There's a guitar solo that has Frenchie on it. Like, smells like Frenchie.
Yeah, no, Frenchie did a lot of the guitars. I actually need to talk to them and be like, okay, who did what? Because there's some things that I'm not fully sure of what they did.
Dude, they do shit so much so fast that they probably don't even know.
I know, they don't. So I'm like, do I just do a general, like, do you remember who played this part? I don't know.
So you have these guys and you create this sound, but then you also have a band. Now, did those guys, like, what's the difference when it comes to the band as opposed... Because I have that kind of thing sometimes. Sometimes I record with some people and go play with other people, and it's a little odd at times.
Yeah,
but
I think it's, I have to remember myself too that these are this is the record. This is what me, Frenchie, Einar put our blood, sweat, and tears into creating a produced, mastered song that's going to be heard on the radio or all those things. And I have to remember, like, that's the song, because there is like a band version that kind of gets, because they actually played it before we got the recorded version, you know?
Right.
So they're actually having to transition into this new direction. And then what will happen is, if we're not actively listening to the record, we'll just kind of like go off on our own and be just playing the songs, but not like, we're sometimes missing some like little licks and stuff that I realize now that I don't have a second guitar player because I dated him and kicked him out of the band. Some of the parts that were his.
So is it just a power trio? No.
My keys player
Okay.
is back, and she does backup harmonies.
Oh, that's good.
But I just the other day, or yesterday, met up with her and was like, okay, there's some guitar things that he was doing that she needs to do on keys, and like transition her into more like synth playing and replicating like a fuzzy synthy guitar sound. So kind of like
Let me ask you this though, like, as a young woman, like, do you have management or something? Do you have
No,
any?
it's all
Okay,
me.
so no one's really saying like, oh, put down the guitar, you should be singing to people and let someone else do. Like, you're a musician, you want to be part of the thing.
yeah,
You don't want to be the
I-
person shoved out in front where it doesn't matter the faceless people. You want to be part of a band.
Yeah, I want them to be, and that's why I'm trying to like bring them along, be like, I want y'all to be like us to be like a family. And I've actually started feeling that more recently, like when we go play shows, like beforehand, the hangout just as a band is so like we're a family. And that's really like, it has been so important to me to like us feel like we're family, because then that'll portray on stage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's, I don't know.
You don't know? I mean, I know those things can be hard because also then they didn't play on the thing. Are they going to play on the next thing?
I don't know. I the honest thing about it is that the more people involved and the more players involved that aren't full minds into the song, like me, Frenchie, and Einar are when we're in the studio, the more time and money you have to spend on them, because they have to get them in the mindset of what we're doing. So when it's just the three of us, we can really execute like a specific sound and specific parts. I'm choosing drum parts as we're going through, because you know, Einar will interpret it a certain way. I'm like, no, I heard this pattern, and I'll like say it, and he'll try it, and we'll do it, and we'll like, so that is, but then at the same time, like with some of the newer stuff we've been working on, like, I'm like, I really like the way that my drummer's playing it.
Yeah.
But I also don't know, because
what also can be a thing where, and I don't know what experience level they're at or even who they are, but I do know that in my experience that a lesser seasoned musician gets very caught up in what their expression is in the song more than the song is the king. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they'll get caught up in the minutia of their own trip.
Yeah.
And it'll become kind of like a process of massaging someone's ego instead of being able to, like Einar and Frenchie are beyond that. You can be like, hey, that doesn't serve the song.
Right.
And they'll change gears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of, it's kind of a different experience when we're in the studio, really like laying out the song, like, okay, this is how each part's gonna do. When I'm with my band and I'm just testing out songs,
Right.
I just throw them a song one day, like I let them
Do what they want.
whatever the heck
Right,
they want on
right,
it.
right.
And just so I can see, is that something I want? But it's still hard to tell because it's like there's so many other aspects to a song that it's not just drums and bass or keys that's on a song even. And like
Right,
when do the
right.
drums and bass even come in? All of those
Right.
things don't get thought about right away, like with me, as I'm like, okay, I just wrote this song. Like, how do I want to?
Well, when you write these songs and you don't demo them in GarageBand, you don't lay down like a template of what you hear initially.
I have, and I do. Like, I have some songs like
Yeah.
where I'll get to that point. But no, not a whole lot. What I started kind of doing during pandemic is like just bringing the song to my band during rehearsal and just like having them play through it so I could kind of hear, okay, this is like what it'd kind of feel like if we had drums. It just kind of gives me an idea. But yeah, I really wish I put myself further into GarageBand, gave myself that time to like, because I hear so much in my songs.
Yeah.
But at this point, because it's like, I like the time I get to play music for myself, I want to be plugged in loud and like, or just like
Yeah.
by myself sitting with my guitar, like my acoustic guitar. So I'm like,
So basically, the way it works is you write a song and you bring in a completed song, and then people start jamming on it.
yeah,
You show it to them, like strumming it, like, "Hey, here's the deal.
yeah.
It's a
And
G
it's
or
like-
whatever." And yeah,
and it's finished, and I'll usually, but a lot of times I'll bring them an unfinished song and just see if what they give me and what that
Right.
energy can help me finish it.
Yeah.
That's definitely happened. Or like while we're playing it, I realize, oh, this needs an epic guitar solo here at the end, and like I'll write that because I felt that when we
Yeah.
were like performing it together. So 'cause sometimes I can't tell if I'm doing a song by myself, does it need this certain aspect of a song?
what I like is that you and the guitar player guy broke up, and you fired him, and now you're like, "I'm not even going to replace him."
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it made me.
It's expensive to have a big band.
It is. That's one thing. It's already expensive
Yeah.
having 3 players, and like I have people that are like, hey, I guitar players. Like this one girl, Emma Dean, I really want her to play guitar if I did add guitar, an extra. But I'm like, I just made a rock album and I need to embrace the guitar to another level and like really like this is, so I learned that solo that Frenchie did. I've like learned, I'm really honing in my tone and my like execution of each song as because before I was always just rhythm and there's someone doing lead, but there's
Right.
like now it's like, okay, I'm gonna take over lead and rhythm and be the fat sound, and then like my keys player can do the like little hooks and stuff that
Right.
second guitars would do.
Right. Right.
But I don't have that and I don't want that.
Do you like? I mean, you're a young woman, and this is a business of sharks. Mm-hmm. And you have you've been able to surround yourself with some people that care about you, and want what's best for you,
Yeah.
and aren't threatening individuals in any way. Although I mean, since like 1989, I've been scared Einar was going to kick my ass at some point. He never has.
He's never
But there is like, I don't ever want him to be mad at me.
About. The very first meeting I ever had with him, I cried after. I still cry, but now I cry during our meetings. I'm like, this is.
Well, the thing is it is harsh, and whatever sort of like it is a harsh business, and whatever sort of unfiltered advice or criticism you get from him is definitely coming from a place of love, which is great.
Yes.
But what I'm leading towards is, have you experienced as a young person, because you're not even 22, and you basically went underground before you were even 21 with this pandemic and quarantine and shit, have you experienced sharks in this business and felt like uncomfortable or unsafe or this person is a threat to me in some way?
I think, without getting too In detail, yes. I think that, but not a whole lot. I'm really not. It depends on what you mean.
Well, I mean it in any way, like physically threatening, crossing some kind of sexual line or some kind of shit like that, where you're like, hey man, I'm a kid and I'm just like trying to get paid, or I'm just, you know what I mean? Like at the end of a night or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, Mike.
Band members, I've had band members that have made multiple ones that have made me feel incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh, that's uncool.
Yeah. Of course, they are no longer in my band. And that's why I'm so glad with the band I have right now. We're all like family, like everybody is dating someone or married. I'm like that. Like,
well, there's people like, are you friends with Aubrey Hayes?
I love Aubrey Hayes.
Yeah.
We just had a conversation. I literally just was talking to her about, and I was like, this person abused me, and she was kind of like saying the same thing. So we know, like, okay, let's be on each other's side, not work with these people that are abusive or toxic or just like not in it for the right reasons and stuff like that.
That's great that's out there, that there's a network of people being open and talking about this stuff and being able to stay away, because it is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird, and it is, sometimes it's not exactly a nefarious, unless someone's totally uncool, sometimes it can be somebody misreads something and ends up, but it all depends on how it's handled by the person and their strength and power and being able to stop it where it is and kind of move on. And I'm very, very relieved to hear that there's this conversation going on between the women in the community saying like, hey, stay away from this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad too. Just like people are really being more open about it. Because, and it's like you feel when it happens to you, you feel like, you like it would have never happened, or you didn't see that in that person or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. So if people are like just kind of warned in the first place, like this person, just like watch out. Like I think but that also, I'm not a evil person. I don't think that anybody that I've ever felt uncomfortable or had a situation like that, like I don't think they're bad people.
Right.
I just think that it's like I'm no longer going to commune with that person, because it was not good for me and my mental health, and also going to warn people of it too, just so like yeah.
Who else are your people in the crowd? You and Aubrey are similar ages. What, she's 24 or something? 25?
Something like that. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, love her. She's going to be playing on the July 17th show. So, yeah. And then the other girl, Kaylin, is going to be playing on the lineup too.
Who is she?
She is she's Kaylin. She does she does the indie pop folk music. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
I like, that's why I chose her and Aubrey Hayes. Is they both, I see them working hard on their music, and they're just like incredible at putting their emotions into their music.
Yeah.
And like getting people to feel something that they want them to feel, and it's just like, that's my favorite ever.
Aubrey is a really stellar songwriter, musician, singer,
and now videographer. She's making her own music video, and it's gonna be awesome. I just know that. I'm seeing on social media, and I'm like, oh, she's so cool. It's gonna be so cool. So she even would want. I'm even like thinking like, oh, that's really cool. She wants to start doing music videos for other people. And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If you're good at expressing that's so cool to me. Like,
I think you need to make a video that, even if it's for one of your songs, just do an exact video replica of Rock Me Tonight by Billy Squire, where you're dancing around in like a pink thing and you're like getting ready to go out.
It should have been me in the first place. I think he was the wrong person in that whole scene.
He thinks he was the wrong person too.
He was wearing my outfit.
Yeah, believe me, that guy thinks he was the wrong person in that scene too. Didn't we talk about this last time too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It ruined his career.
There's a chapter in this.
I don't want to ruin my career.
There's this giant book about MTV that tells like the whole story, kind of like Motley Crue, The Dirt, and it's told like from everybody's perspective.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter just dedicated to that
that
video.
one.
It's called The Worst Video Ever Made. That's the name of the chapter. Chapter 19, The Worst Video Ever Made. So yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Do you who else are your people that you're close to in this scene?
Who else?
Drop some names. Einar, Frenchie, Aubrey Hayes, Alex Chod.
Yeah.
Do you think I think we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
Okay, because I tell people we're friends.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I feel so. I actually see a name right in front of me. I finally met Sydney Wright.
Sydney
She's
Wright,
incredible.
another talent.
Yes. Saw her play at the Hotspot doing like this Women's Wednesday thing.
Oh yeah.
I live up there, so that's why I'm like.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Did you go to any of those other things? I went to one of those drive-in things back in like
I never went
October
to any
or
of those
November
ones,
or something.
But now that the Hotspot's open, I've been going to there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I had an experience there summer of 2019 playing there, and I almost blacked out on stage from heat. Like couldn't get my air, couldn't get the. You know those gigs like in August outside?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even
3-hour outside August gigs.
Oh.
It was one of those.
I played 2 hours last Friday at Mozart's, and I was like drenched in sweat after because I put my whole body into my performances.
Is that a solo performance?
Yeah, it was just solo, but like, oh my god, it was
when you
hot.
play solo, you play acoustic or electric?
I play electric. So now what I do, I've decided, this is new for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my Les Paul for my like band shows live, and then when I play solo, usually I'm playing longer sets, and I like to play some of my like more acoustic, pretty, sad stuff. That's more of what comes out of me than anything. There's like the occasional rock song that is like really like whoa, or pop songs, but a lot of times I have to get through a lot of emotional writing before something really like really great comes out that's not so sad. Right. So I'll play my Gretsch. I have a hollow body Gretsch.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's that. It gets that like the harmonics of it being hollow body makes it feel kind of acoustic. Yeah. And I really.
So it looks funny playing a solid body acoustic electric guitar by yourself solo.
It does. It feels weird.
There's not enough low end.
It doesn't react to my reverb the way my amp. It's just too like. Yeah. Which is great when I'm with my band and I'm playing my rock music. Rock.
Do you write with other people at all? Do you do any co-writing?
I do some, not like very many people. I have a friend named Dan Goebel. Do you know who that is? He used to go by Little Dan.
No.
He's a great songwriter. And we'll write together. And it's super, super, super fun to write, especially with I've written before with girls too, but from a man's perspective and then a woman's perspective on the same subject is kind of really cool. Yeah. And there's a lot that comes out of that. So, but I haven't done a whole lot. I just my writing process is so like internal and like what I'm personally going through. But I know that I need to step out of that and like not get so stuck in my head about my writing process that I can easily, this friend Paris her name's Paris. We would co-write a lot together. I was in her band at a time. I'm not in her band anymore. But
did you get fired?
No, kinda. You know the boyfriend I was telling you about? She
replaced you with him? Oh, she took sides.
She's still my best friend. We're actually totally fine now.
Really?
Yes. It was kind of a weird situation. They had already made a decision before he broke up with me. So once he broke up with me, he was already agreed to like do these songs for her, and so he's no longer, and he left her band. He can't hold commitments, so it's all like whatever now. But yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
and
funny.
I did used to like write like I can write more like I'm great in jam sessions because I know how to be in every key. So I love to like jam with other people. But when it comes to writing melodies and lyrics with another
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
it's kind of a whole nother ball game. I'm like, what do we say? What are we trying to say? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It can be weird, man. I mean, I've done it a lot, and there are times when you just get there and you look at each other and you're like,
I don't know.
Sydney Wright and I did a thing at a House of Songs here where they put you with somebody. And
Yeah.
they put us together. We knew each other. We're friends. And we literally like fucked around for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and then 20 minutes wrote like a song. So that they wouldn't be mad at us. You know what I mean? But sometimes you come in, you got an idea, someone's ready to go. Sometimes you just go for a walk and like that, you know,
My
maybe we'll
friend
write
Dan
something
tells
next time.
me to go to Target. He likes to go to Target if he gets stuck on a song. I'm like, that's great.
What do you do when you're stuck on a song?
I love to. I know myself, and if I get what's out, I get it out. And then I'm so busy. I'm always driving. I live in Liberty Hill, so it's like I had to get anywhere. I have like at
Yeah,
least.
is that
30
where Hotspot
minutes.
is?
Yeah, I'm like
Kinda
20
whatever
minutes
it
even
is.
further north.
Jesus,
than
really?
that. Yeah.
Oh, that's Cedar Park.
That's
oh, so
Cedar
you're even
Park.
further
so
from
I'm
it.
further. I'm like 20 minutes.
Jesus.
North. So anywhere I go, it takes at least 30 minutes to get to it. So I'll listen to my songs. Anytime I'm writing stuff, I'll always record. I have like thousands of recordings. And then while I'm driving, I'm just like listening
Yeah.
and like thinking through the song, thinking through the hooks and stuff, and like piecing it together. Since I work as a music teacher, once I get to work, sometimes my guitar's right there and I'll like flesh out something really quick before I start, or if a student cancels. So that's kind of cool. I'm like, while I'm teaching, my mind's still in music, so I can easily like also just go back into writing if I have a break.
Right.
So that's fun. I like my job.
You have cool boots, by the way.
Thanks.
Are those
thanks.
Doc Martens?
They're fake ones. No,
Fake Doc
they're
Martens?
just from H&M. But
Oh, yeah, I gotta get to H&M. Someone told me they even have cool hats now.
They have a lot of cool everything.
The only thing is that shit only lasts like a fucking like 3 months, and then it's destroyed.
I mean, these I've had for like a year or two, and they were $30, and they're
Jesus,
great.
man, that's awesome.
But I had to break them in. They were hurting at first.
Yeah, that's the other thing is there's stuff like shoes and stuff I'm a little weary of because I like comfort in my shoes, man.
Yeah.
Especially after COVID. I didn't wear boots or grown up
I
dress
know.
people shoes. I was in these
Oh my God.
like
All
the
the
whole
time.
time.
I'm
And an
like
older pair.
feeling weird about, because I used to wear like, I have every size of heel and different colors of boots and heels, and I'm just like, I put them on, one pair on, and tried to wear for a night, and like I'm just like, nope. Never again. I literally just wear these at my gigs. I wear these to go out. I'm just like, I can't do the heel situation anymore.
No. I think it would be a drag to have to do that, especially if you're playing rock and playing guitar and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
all my friends like that always wear boots.
Yeah.
Some kind of boots.
Yep.
Did you read the Kathy Valentine book?
No, I didn't know there was a book.
Oh, it's great. All I ever wanted, it's her story
I need
coming up.
to read that.
You blew one of the theories that I had from her book. Like, she talked about how the weird sort of either sexism or weird advances she would get were never from people that were fellow musicians. It was always business people, but that she always felt safe amongst her fellow musicians. But that, however, is not even safe in your own band apparently at this point.
Yeah, it's true. Kind of like every corner of my life, I have somebody that's like still can't get over me or something, and like, there was a time where they were in my band. It's so weird, but it's been photographers. It's been everything. It's like kind of, I don't know. I'm also feel like I'm having to learn myself. I feel like I'm such a nice person.
Right.
It seems like I'm flirting all the time.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, no, that's not the case, but maybe I'm not sure, because sometimes.
Right. No, I understand. That used to happen. That used to happen to my ex-wife a lot.
Yeah.
And she's a photographer. Like, people would misinterpret that.
Yeah.
But there are people, women and men, who use that sexuality as a currency to get what they want out of life. Like, there are people that present themselves as, well, you never know. It's just you and me. It might all go down, even if they didn't mean that. They kind of carry themselves like that. I went out with a girl that's like that. That's kind of her. We broke up a long time ago, and I just had lunch with her a couple months ago, And I was like, oh yeah, this is how you do life. You just kind of like make everyone think they're going to get some, and then you get what you want, you bail. There's real people like men and women. Yeah. Anyway, Christine, you got this show at Empire Control Room and Garage. You've got this gorgeous EP coming out, Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Your autobiography.
Yeah. Of age 18 through 20.
I love it, man. I really, this is, all of you guys you're a great team together, you and Einar and Frenchie.
Dream team.
Yeah. Einar really, not that I should be or shouldn't be, but I hear stuff he works on now, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'll have to be like, did you do this on? And he's like, no, man, it was me playing drums. You're like, really? Jesus.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. And people can get tickets to this. They can find you at ChristineRennerMusic.com. Is there anything else I missed? I like talking to you, man.
Thanks. You too. This is good.
I got no problem with you.
Yeah, anywhere Christine Renner music. Instagram is my jam, though.
Yeah,
like,
that's
where I hang out.
Yeah.
I like Facebook's. I'm there, but mostly I'm on my Facebook actual profile. I just post random stuff, like just random stuff. I think that what I did this morning was like Sgt. Pepper, track 13.
That laughing thing?
Track 13 is a day in the life.
Oh.
I hear that song and that's like life.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant that thing that happens at the end where they all start laughing,
it's
and I don't like that. Yeah.
I don't like it, but also, no, but when you listen to the song and you really like listen to it, and then there's like a dog whistle sound that happens, and then that creepy laughing ending part, something about it makes it all make sense. I don't know. Because the whole song is kind of like about like a kind of like being in a dream, and I don't know, they're on drugs, who knows.
Yeah, starting to wonder about you, like Christine Renner starting to explore the psychedelic world.
I've actually been there, done that, and I'm kind of okay right now to like be it's like, you
just
know,
yourself.
Yeah. And then I feel like there's a time when it's like, okay, let's have like an experience, but not like super often thing.
You want to be a rock star?
Yeah, I am a rock star. So, yeah,
that's good. I like that answer.
Yeah, I really do. Like, I really want to go on tour. I just like I want to play music everywhere to everyone and
see a million faces and rock them all.
Yeah, and do like album tour. Like I'm
You're
so
totally
excited.
okay with that being your life.
Totally loving it. Yeah. And then when I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I would like to settle down and have like a child with this person, whoever in the world, when I'm like 33 and want that. Why 33? I don't know. But I will.
Because of Chrissy Hind?
What?
Is it because of Chrissy Hind?
Who's that? No.
From The Pretenders?
What?
I'm going home. I'm tired as hell. Not the guy I used to be. I got a kid. I'm 33, baby.
I don't know about that, but I love
Hitting
that.
the road.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And then at that point, I want to be doing what's my dreamer music mentorship. Like, I'm kind of already doing it with some of my students, but I'd like kind of take a break, maybe not be like touring so much, have a kid, and then probably go back on the road.
Yeah.
To start some, I don't know. I would love to start some like, not just Christine Renner, like start some cool alter band that's like either doing like soul and R&B stuff, inspired stuff, just kind of outside of my realm. I'd love to like do that, or like be living in Austin when I'm like 50 and start a blues band or something. Because I bet everything in Austin, there'll be no more blues when I'm that age, and I'm like gonna bring it back, bring back the blues jam, and bring back Sea Boys and the Continental. I love South Congress.
I do too. I love that. Those are my places too. The Sea Boys, the Continental, and the upstairs gallery.
Yeah, love to hang.
Whoa, I just made myself feedback. Didn't feel good. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for having me.
That's Christine Renner. Get her EP Heartbreaker available July 17th. Go to ChristineRennerMusic.com for all of your Christine Renner music needs. Don't forget you can see her Saturday, July 17th at Empire Control Room and Garage for her release show for Heartbreaker with special guests Aubrey Hayes and Caseland. And it's also her 22nd birthday. Happy birthday, Christine Renner. All right. Also, don't forget you can find Rain Perry at rainperry.com or cinderblockbookshelves.com. Get out there and listen to that. Listen to it. Listen to Cinderblock Bookshelves. It's amazing. All right. Listen to Christine Renner's Heartbreaker EP. It's amazing. Have a great week. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy whatever it is that you're doing with your life this week. All right. Talk to you on Friday. Let's get down.